Guys. I'm 3 days post-op, three Thursday. Well, I had surgery Thursday. It is Sunday. Um, so I just wanted to quickly go over, what happened. So I got there at 9 a.m. I was put in the like pre-op room with my mom because I wanted her to be there, and I literally just sat there. This nurse, asked some questions and just told me to change into like the gown thing. I was allowed to keep my underwear and socks on for surgery, but that was it. Um, Everything else was put in a garment bag, and I sat in a reclining chair in the like a pre-op waiting room with my mom for like well over an hour. My surgery was supposed to start at 10, but it didn't start till 11, so I was in that room for 2 hours. Um, and then she put the IV in. I didn't really care. I don't know. That was supposedly the scariest part, which it technically was, but it wasn't. It didn't feel like anything to me. I didn't really care. Um, I'm used to needles at this point, so it didn't really bother me. But I sat in the room with my mom, and then I had the IV in, and they just had like fluids going into it, so I wouldn't get dehydrated. And there was a heater because it was kind of cold in there. And then Dr. McLean came in to draw on my chest, and I let my mom stay in the room for that, and I'm really glad I did because she had never seen my chest before, and I don't know, my whole family like kind of everyone has always been like, oh, you have such a small chest, like why are you having surgery and all this stuff, and it was nice. And my mom said after surgery, like when they showed my chest the day after, um, she said she's really glad she got to see what it looked like before surgery because then she can actually see, what I paid for and what I've been waiting for and everything. And she said it looks really good and that she's glad she got to see what it looked like before. So anyway, he came in and drew on my chest. I am an extremely ticklish person, and I couldn't sit still, and I was laughing the entire time he was drawing on me because I was so ticklish. And so then he left, and I sat back down for probably like 15 more minutes, and then I picked up the little IV bag thing and carried it into the operating room, and then I sat on the operating table, laid down on the operating table, and the last thing I remember was the guy said, like the anesthesiologist or whatever said, I'm gonna put the anesthetic in now, and then I remember one of the ladies showing me the breathing tube, saying, "Okay, I guess we're gonna go for oxygen now," and then I was out. I woke up in the post-op area feeling so nauseous. I felt so sick and so tired I could barely keep my eyes open. I was trying, but it wasn't really working. I still had the oxygen on, and the nurse was telling me to breathe deeply. And I have a problem with shivering. I shiver like violently a lot if I'm even slightly cold, and I get cold really easily. So I was shivering so violently while I still had the oxygen on and everything, and the nurse was like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And I said, "I'm so cold." And so she got like four heavy blankets and put them on me, and I shivered for about 10 minutes until I was able to finally warm up. But it was pretty violent, like I was shaking the whole bed. And But that's normal, like that's not anything to do with surgery. It just I was cold, and that's what happens when I'm cold. Um, so anyway, they took the oxygen off. I don't actually remember her doing that. I was kind of still not really conscious. Um, and then she asked if I was in pain, and I said yes. So she put some pain medication in the IV, and then she asked if I was nauseous, and I said yes. And so she put Gravol in the IV, and then and then she said I have one more pain medication I'm allowed to give you if you're still in pain. And I said yeah, please give it to me. So she did, and then once that was done, she took the IV off of me, and I was allowed to get up and go to the bathroom. I was still extremely nauseous and dizzy, so she asked me if I needed help, and I said no. So when she let me into the bathroom, she put my hand on the bar that's next to the toilet, but I had to take my hand off the bar to get my pants down. So she had already left by that point, and I almost fell over when I let go of the bar. I didn't though, thankfully. And so I went to the bathroom and I went like I just went as if it was a normal bathroom break. So when I came out, she said, asked if I went to the bathroom. I said yes. She asked if it was more than a drop, and I said yes. And then I went and sat in there's a like a in the post-op area. There's like a bed and then a chair. And I went and she sat me down in the chair and gave me some. She asked if I wanted apple juice or ginger ale. I said ginger ale. So she gave me some of that. And then they were trying to contact my parents, and my parents weren't answering their cell phone. So it took a while to find them. And then once they did find my parents, they brought them in. And basically, after I went to the bathroom, I was ready to leave, but my parents were nowhere to be found. So it took them a while to find my parents, and I was just drinking ginger ale and stuff. And then my parents came in and they gave my mom a bag of, it's right there, but I'm not going to get it because I can't really get up and then sit back down. A bag of like extra gauze and bandages and stuff, which I'm not going to need, but they said just in case I leaked fluid or anything, then I could change them. I did get to see my chest before they put the binder on after I woke up from surgery, but I was so dizzy and nauseous that I kind of looked down and didn't really register what was going on. And then they put me in a wheelchair, wheeled me down, put me in the car, and then I went home. I was so dizzy, but I was not dizzy anymore once I got in the car because the gravel, I guess, had kicked in. The pain medication, though, wore off. There was a lot of traffic, so it wore off after about an hour and a half or so. And we were like 5 minutes away from home, and I had to start taking the Tylenol 3 because it started to hurt a lot. And then I came home and slept and watched TV and stuff, and I wasn't in pain, but I just took the Tylenol as instructed, and it was fine. The next day, I had my post-op appointment, and I went in. I was not happy. I was so uncomfortable. The binder was so tight, and I just wanted it off. And I got there, and so I went in to the room, and some lady who I don't know her name came and took the binder off, took the gauze off, and showed me my chest. My mom was there, and she said it looked amazing, and it does look really good. And then she said I'm allowed to bathe up to like my stomach. We don't have a bathtub though, so I can't do that. We only have a shower, so I'm not allowed to do anything for the next week. And she said literally, I can move everything, like I can put my arms up and everything, everything's fine. She said I can't hurt or pull or tear anything. It'll be a bit painful for me to move, but I can't damage anything by moving, so that's good to know. And I was very stiff, but after that appointment, after they loosened the binder, because she put it back on, obviously, after she loosened the binder, I was a bit more mobile. And then after she said that I'm not going to be able to tear anything or anything, I think psychologically I just went, okay, I can move a bit more now. I'm honestly like pretty mobile, and I'm like 3 days post-op. It's just uncomfortable because I have to keep the binder on. I'm allowed to take it off like when I'm sitting down, but if I'm up and moving, I have to have it on. But I can't do it up myself, so I'm not gonna, every time I sit down, I'm not gonna take it off because it's a pain to get it back on. So